Look at my baby, eh? Brilliant, isn't it? Any road up, let's do your twizzle. This is not my subject today, not under motorbikes. No, I've been watching a few videos of these all-in-one, all-grain brewing machines, if you like. And I think you know the ones I mean. Won't mention them by name, I don't want to get myself sued to death. But they interest me a lot, and I think the idea is very good. So I thought I'd take you on a little journey from start to finish, another old fart saying, and we'll try and make one. See if we can cut down the cost. So let's show you what my thought processes are for a start. So the bits and bobs that I've got together at the moment. So let's do a little twizzle and I'll show you what I mean. There's Henry. Right. Now, a few weeks ago I took a dishwasher to bits, and I've got a very powerful water pump. Obviously it needs cleaning and I need to sort out what does what. I've also got my tea urn, as you've seen me use on countless occasions. I've also got my mash tun filter, which fits very nicely into the bottom of that. Now, I'm thinking to myself, I need an inner tub inside, don't I? Because a lot of these machines have got like an inner tub. So what I've done, I've been to Wilko's and bought one of these lot. Just a £16 boiling pot thingy. I've already put this malarkey onto the top of the lid for another experiment I was doing. So, here twizzle. So, I've got to get my thinking head on now and see how I'm going to make all-in-one grain system brewing mash tun boiler, all singing, all dancing malarkey. Oh, one important ingredient I haven't showed you with the twizzle. No, not Henry. Him up there, I've just been using him as a temperature gauge. ST1000. Onward and upward. Return, the handles are off. I've sawed them off. You see what these are, look. These are wobbly things. I've just fitted them over the squashed ends and the tops from the bubblers, airlocks. And if you measure it right, and it goes. Let's lean it over. There you go. So no scratching of the sides. Seems to work very well. It's fairly steady. Apart from the bloody thing back there, let's do it there. Well, it's fairly steady and it keeps it central. And pulls out fairly easy and just sits on the bottom there. Now I've just got to devise handles to lift it up and then how to rest it up here somehow. And I think it's got holes in the bottom, but I'm going to check out Get your thinking head on how I'm going to do that. So I'll just leave that in there for now. And look, if you wobble it about, not too bad. Right, now you must remember that I'm thinking outside of the box now. So I've got this motor out of the old dishwasher, and I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to connect the water supply to these two bloody big pipes that are on rubber? And it just so happens that I've got these, and they fit in there, and then I can clamp them in with the just thinking. And also I obviously need to enclose this. I've got to find out if this is, I don't know what that does, I haven't got a clue what that does. I think it's something to do with slowing the motor down, but I'm not really sure. But yeah, onward and upward. I've got to find a box to put this in now. And the only thing I've come up with at the moment is this bloody wooden drawer. And I'm not spending money. I'm determined to do this on a budget so that you guys who think, I'll have a go at that, I can make a bigger balls up as the old fart. And you heard onward and upward. Now this video is very much thinking as I go along, the best way of doing things. And my thoughts on this mash tun part was to drill holes in the bottom. In fact, I've got so far as to do a few lines, if you like, to start drilling. And then I'm thinking to myself, if I do that, the number one, it's going to be very hard to drill, I think. I'm assuming that this is stainless steel. It might be galvanised, but I think it's stainless steel. It didn't say on the packet. But if it's stainless steel, it's going to be hard to drill. But I don't mind doing that to save, whatever it is, nearly £600, considering I've got most of the stuff any road up. But with little holes, I'm thinking the grain will soon sort of lie in the little holes and block the holes. So I don't know how to carry on from here really, because if I drill all those holes and then it just blocks up, a bit of a waste of time. Because I've noticed on these other types of machines, they've got like a fine mesh with thousands of holes. And I'm trying to get me thinking head on. I don't think it'd be easy to find a mesh like that. I think this is where these machines win, because obviously they get them made in bulk and they can proceed. So I'm still thinking. Right, it's exactly what I thought. The hole to drill, one hole, was quite difficult because it is stainless steel. And the way I got around drilling the hole was start off with a small drill and put some grease around it. And what I've done, look, is drilled the first hole. Now my thoughts were it'd be a pain in the arse to drill hundreds of holes, and I've already got one of these things, right, got this from Wilko's, and I've had it a while, and it's not, must be some sort of stainless steel because it's not gone rusty or anything, and keep it out in the shed. So, and we can clean it. And my first idea was to make this hole bigger and bigger and bigger, and then place that inside so that the grains obviously can't get through that part of it, and there's lots of holes, if you like, and make a bigger hole at the bottom so it can run through faster. So that's my plan of attack. On the bottom of me, I'll call it the mash tun, this bit, I suppose. It's a round indented ring there, it sticks out proud. And the way I'd got the mesh filter thing, whatever you want to call it. It was overhanging, sort of down there, and I think the grain would get underneath and through that hole, and I want to try and keep as much grain out as possible. So what I've done, I've cut the handle off the gauze, and I've just, for the time being, put a bit of piping, plastic piping over there to stop it scratching. And that, by a strange coincidence, covers that lump. And I think if I've got some more rubber bits and got the right length so that it touches at the side and the weight of the grain on top, I don't think this would move much. So I'm going to put some rubber bits on, rubber tubing, and see if that'll hold in position, and then hopefully with the grain on the top, when I mash in, the grain won't go underneath and into the drain pipe in the middle there. Might put some sort of insider. I might even make it big enough for a pipe to come out, and put a little filter or something to stop any grain going through there. So that's my next plan. Rubber tubing I've put on each one now, and obviously you can slide this in and out to what position you want. So when you drop it in, you know, it just keeps it steady, stops it rocking about. I don't want it wedged in, and I can't get my fingers under there. So hopefully it will keep the grains out. But that seems pretty solid, it's not going anywhere. So now I'm going to drill that hole in the middle there and make it big enough to take a fitting if I need to put a fitting in itself. Because the idea is, if I make a big enough hole for the liquid just to fall through into the boiler bucket and recirculate it round to the top, if I find that grain is getting under there, I can always attach a little filter to a copper fitting or whatever. The trick is to slowly increase the drill size. I've got the diddy hole, so I'm just increasing the drill size, putting plenty of grease on the end of the drill bit. And then just tighten that up and just go very steadily with a bit too small a drill. Probably a little bit bigger drill next time. Bit of grease. So what I'm going to do is just carry on increasing the drill size, slowly but surely. So the hole is complete. Got a bit of tempering around the edge there. I've got to deburr it at some stage, but I can do that later on because I might need to drill a bigger hole, and I don't want to put too much work into it until I can see if that's enough in there to drain the liquor that I want. So as it stands at the moment then, I've got that goes over there, and that should drain into the boiler. The plan all along is not to cause any damage whatsoever to my boiler, which cost a lot of money, and the reason I put those plastic lugs on is to stop it from scratching. So if we put that back in there, so now you can see, hopefully we can get the circulation going, and my idea is to circulate from this outlet that's already there. That's where the tap is, and I don't want to, like I say, be drilling and doing anything in this that I'm going to knacker it up, because I can easily take this out and put my original T-urn tap in or whatever fitting I want, and that's the only hole I want in there. So what I want to do is to draw the water out from the bottom down there through the filter, draw the water out, and then somehow get it to come back up here and drain over the top. And I've got to have some sort of filtering system on the top now once the grain's in. So that's my next thought. You've got to understand, I suppose this is a bit selfish really, but I'm building this for me, and I want to make it the easiest way to do the business. Now I've got to find some way of being able to lift this inner mash tun out so that it can sparge at a certain height. So that's my next job, and also the recirculation of the beer. I'm thinking of using this bench and somehow going through this and fixing the motor below the height of that, and then pump it back up and come out, I don't know, at the top here somewhere, so it can go in there. So rather than have it an all-in-one system like you buy, I'm building it for myself, so I can use my motor in there, get it out of the way, maybe even the temperature, put a door on it or cover or whatever on this part. That's me thinking. Look at my baby, eh? Brilliant, isn't it? Any road up, let's do your twizzle. This is not my subject today, not under motorbikes. No, I've been watching a few videos of these all-in-one all-grain brewing machines, if you like, and I think you know the ones I mean. Won't mention them by name, I don't want to get myself sued to death, but they interest me a lot, and I think the idea is very good. So I thought I'd take you on a little journey from start to finish, another old fart saying, and we'll try and make one. See if we can cut down the cost. So let's show you what my thought processes are for a start. So the bits and bobs that I've got together at the moment. So let's do a little twizzle and I'll show you what I mean. There's Henry. Right. Now a few weeks ago I took a dishwasher to bits, and I've got a very powerful water pump. Obviously it needs cleaning and I need to sort out what does what. I've also got my T-urn, as you've